So you're thinking about making a move to Alexandria, Virginia, but you'd kind of like to know a little bit more about the area, what types of housing it has to offer, what amenities it has, proximity to airports, all the fun stuff that the locals know. You are in the right place. That is exactly what I'm going to be covering in today's video. So if that's something you're interested in, be sure to stick around. One note before we get into it today, I am going to be driving around Alexandria, that is in Fairfax County, not to be mistaken with the city of Alexandria. If you are interested in more information about the city of Alexandria, check out our vlog and pros and cons and map video about Old Town Alexandria. Alexandria in Fairfax County makes up a large part of the county, so we're going to be checking out different areas today, starting with the Franconia, Kingstowne area. So here we are, just getting ready to take the exit onto South Van Dorn Street. You can see the sign right there. I'm on 495 right now, and then I'm going to get on South Van Dorn Street and we will check out the Kingstowne area. And Kingstowne is actually a master planned community in Alexandria, but locals refer to a broader area as Kingstowne. I actually used to live in Kingstowne. It's where I bought my very first townhouse, so I always have a soft spot for this area. Lots of good memories here. And Kingstowne is very popular for good reason. It has a lot to offer. If you are within the Kingstowne Homeowners Association, you have access to a lot of amenities, multiple pools, clubhouses, tennis courts, sports courts, exercise rooms, but also just living in the area, not necessarily in the Kingstowne Homeowners Association. You have daily needs at your fingertips. You are close to two metro stations, which is the Franconia Springfield Metro Station and the Van Dorn Metro Station. And you have access to entertainment as well. I would say one con to this area of Alexandria is the restaurants are okay. There are some good ones, but I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 as far as dining options go. I always wish that they would bring in some other options. We are on Van Dorn now, and we're just getting ready to pass on the right here, the Runnymede neighborhood. That's actually where my very first townhome was. And we are going to be coming in up to a couple more lights here, and then we will get into the Kingstowne area. And I'll drive you around Kingstowne first, and then I'm going to cut over to the Rose Hill area. If we were to go right at this light, then we would head over to Franconia, and just about a mile down the road, it actually changes to a Springfield address. And if we were to go left at the light here, we would see Edison High School on our right, and then get into the Rose Hill area. So I'll loop back that way. While I am waiting to make it through these lights to get into the Kingstowne area, I also want to mention something that is great about this Kingstowne, Rose Hill, Franconia area is it's a really convenient location, not just for access to Metro, but also to major commuter routes. You are minutes to 95, 495, 395. You're also only about a half hour to Reagan Airport, maybe a little less if you get lucky with the lights. And then you're not far from Dulles Airport either. That's going to take you around 45 minutes as well. So very convenient no matter what type of commuting you are looking to do. All right, we are now working our way into Kingstowne. And on the right here, you will see some of the amenities that homeowners here can take advantage of. That's the clubhouse there with an exercise room, a party room. Pool's closed right now because it's off season, but there's a really nice pool there as well. And they're just coming up past the sign is on the right side is Kingstowne Lake. Really nice place to walk, and there's always something going on with nature. My husband and I have participated in quite a few of the lake cleanup days over the years, and it's just a wonderful place that I hope is always preserved in this area. We don't have a lot of lakes around here, and it's nice to take a stroll or walk your dog. So now I'm getting on Kingstowne Village Parkway, and I'm actually going to merge over here and cut into Kingstowne Town Center. This is where a lot of shopping, dining, and entertainment is. It's home to the movie theater in this area as well. You've got Safeway, you have Giant, you've got multiple restaurants, Chinese, Domino's, Subs. You can actually see the Domino's car right in front of me there. So let's just cruise in here. It's also home to Bonefish. Bonefish has been here for years. Orange Theory is here as well. Pasara Thai, great Thai restaurant in the area. This is really a central hub in the Kingstowne area, and I'm just going to cut across the shopping center. You've got Panera, the ABC store, Chopped. Chopped actually went in fairly recently here, and Pizza. Over to the left, out of our view, you have Macaroni Grill, you have Home Goods, TJ Maxx. A little further up here on the right, you have World Market, Chipotle. There is a lot of diversity in the shopping center as far as daily needs go, housewares, retail shopping, and then of course dining as well. I'm not going to keep going straight, but if I were to do so, the Safeway is up here on the right. It's one of my favorite Safeways in the area. They have a great bakery there, and it's a really large store with a great selection. I am going to exit out of the shopping center now. Across the street, it's out of view, but there's the Walmart, and then there's also the post office as well. And we've got Ashley Furniture Store, we've got an Aldi, and then also Lazy Boy as well. We are going to be making a left here to get back on Kingstowne Village Parkway. Just took a little cut through to show you the town center. And while I wait for the light, across from us on to the right and to the left are Eaton Square condos. Very popular condo community in Kingstowne because of its walkability. And a little further up, we're currently on Kingstowne Boulevard. If we were to stay straight, on the left side would also be more condos, which are the tiers at Manchester Lakes. A pro of the Kingstowne area, and this includes Rose Hill and Franconia as well, there is a lot of different housing options. You won't find a ton of new construction, but you will find condos, townhomes, townhouse style condos. You'll also find single family homes. There's 55 plus communities. And if you're interested in renting, there are plenty of options to rent apartments, whether it's a professionally managed community or a private rental. Kingstowne offers both of those. So I'm going to pop in here into the Windsor community, which is on the right here, and those are apartments for rent. And we're going to come back here and just cruise through to give you an idea of what some of the townhomes look like in this area. There are townhomes that have just assigned parking, but there are also townhomes that have 1 or 2 car garages as well. A lot of this area was developed in the late 80s and early 90s as far as in Kingstowne goes. So keep that in mind, just depending on if you are looking for new construction. I would say that's a con of this area. There is not a lot of new construction in the Kingstowne area. You may find, though, where we're headed next, Rose Hill has some other options, more one-off options, but occasionally a plat of land will be able to be purchased and build some single-family homes, but it would be a small enclave, not a master planned community. Now we are at the intersection of Hayfield Road and Kingstowne Village Boulevard, and we're going to cross over here. On the right side is another amenity center that Kingstowne residents have access to if you're in the Master Association. Another pool there, that's a very popular pool. But what we're going to do is cross over Hayfield here and make a left into the Nottingham neighborhood, which is single family homes. And the Nottingham neighborhood, it's on smaller lot sizes, and it has some, not all, but some smaller single family homes. So it can be a bit more of an affordable price point. A con of this area, I would say, and it goes for unfortunately most places in Northern Virginia, is its high cost of living. And in particular, real estate is definitely going to cost you here. So keep that in mind when you are planning for what your budget's going to be. So here we are. On the right is the South Center, and then we are pulling right into Nottingham. One of my closest friends and her husband lived here. This was their starter single family home. and they really enjoyed the neighborhood. Lots of gatherings go on, busy for trick-or-treating. And these homes have 2-car garages, so if that's a must-have on your list, this neighborhood checks that box. This is I would say average size enclave here in Kingstowne. It's not a small, it's not just a handful of homes, but we're also not talking a massive section in the Kingstowne area. It comes down to personal preference. Some of the neighborhoods here are extremely large, others are not. You've got your colonial architecture. This is just a big circle to get through the neighborhood. So we're going to come right back around, and then our next stop is going to be, I'm going to work my way back over to the Rose Hill side of this area. But first, I'm going to show you another shopping center. This is the newest shopping center in the area, so I will see you there. We are back out on Kingstowne Village Parkway. On the left is more condos, Stratford Place, and we also just passed the Thompson Center, which is where the HOA works out of. It's where you'll go if you need to submit anything in person, and it's a very well managed HOA. I've always had positive experiences working with them. If it's, getting through some resale document violations, they've always been great. We're passing Wiltshire on the right, more townhomes there, and on the left is Kenwood Forest. Again, all of these within the Kingstowne Pyramid. And as we come up here a little bit further, we're getting close to Beulah Road, which is where we're going to be heading to see the shopping center I want to show you, called Hilltop Village Center. We're now passing Amherst Village on the right, a very popular section in Kingstowne, single-family homes here. And then on the left, we have Devonshire, also a very popular section of Kingstowne. I have a client that lives over on the left here, and he has been in his home for almost 15 years. He loves the area. So here we are. We're going to be making a left on Beulah Street, and across from us, before I make this turn, also want to point out really large neighborhood in the Kingstowne area, and that is Island Creek. You will find townhomes, single family homes, and condos within the neighborhood. So lots of variety. There's walking paths, and it's a very well maintained neighborhood. If you are going to be stationed at Fort Belvoir, it would make for a very easy commute. Once we go left on Beulah here, we could take that to Telegraph Road, and you could probably commute from Island Creek to Fort Belvoir, I would say no more than 15 minutes. So now we're making the left on Beulah. In just a few minutes, we will be to Hilltop Village Center. I'm going to talk a little bit about that before we get there. Hilltop Village Center, as I mentioned, is one of the newer shopping centers in this area of Alexandria. It is home to the beloved Wegmans. I have never met anybody in this area who doesn't love Wegmans, myself included. And it also has quite a few restaurants, one of which is, I would say, top 5 nicest restaurants in this Kingstowne area, and that's Burton's Grill. Great food, great service, very consistent. It's also home to Green Turtle if you are looking to watch some games and enjoy some sports. Green Turtle is a great place to do it. You also have LA Fitness here if you're looking to get a workout in. You've got Moe's Southwest Grill, Navy Federal Credit Union. We're gonna come in the backside here. There's the Wegmans up there on the right. You also have Verizon, Dickey's Barbecue, Massage Envy, and as I come around here, you'll see the Burtons that I mentioned on the right side. And we'll just come down the center of the shopping center to give you an idea. There's also T-Mobile. There's Banfield Veterinarian, Vichelle's Salon, Peri Peri, The Joint Chiropractor. You also have First Impression Orthodontics. Dr. Lou is exceptional. He did my husband's Invisalign. You have Hilltop Dental Care, also a great place if you are looking for a dentist. You have Eye to Eye, you have Panda Express, and you have Sola salons. So a lot of options here. Across the street, I'm not going to go in the center, but that's Lansdowne Center right across Beulah here. CVS for your pharmacy needs. Also, Olympian's Family Restaurant. They're really a staple in our area. They are well known and they have it all. Their food is great. Their staff is great. Highly recommend them. I'm going to be making a left here on Telegraph to work my way back to Rose Hill, but I wanted to point out that, let me zoom in here. You can actually see one of the gates for Fort Belvoir. You can see the sign right there. So that's how convenient this is. If you're going to be living in the Kingstowne area and are going to be at Fort Belvoir, your commute really would be ideal for this area. Traffic is not, I wouldn't say it's terrible in Kingstowne. It does back up on Van Dorn, especially by Kingstowne Lake. That's a congested spot. But aside from that, navigating through Kingstowne in general is not too bad. Now, of course, once you get out of this area of Alexandria and you're hopping on the Beltway or 95 or 395, well, that's definitely going to be a con to living here. It's just a way of life in Northern Virginia. We have a lot of terrible traffic, and it's a negative to the area. I am on Telegraph Road now, heading towards Rose Hill. On the left is Hayfield Secondary School, and on the right is Hayfield Elementary. Just wanted to point out the schools here, and to give you your boundaries, this light that we are coming up to is Hayfield Road that we crossed over when we were heading towards Beulah Street. To give you an idea, we just made a big loop. This is not a long drive by any means. We're passing Hayfield Center on the left now. You have Planet Fitness, McDonald's, Goodwill, Dollar Tree, and another favorite restaurant of mine in this area is House of Dynasty. Their Chinese food is one of my favorites. I would say top 3 for me in all of Northern Virginia. My husband and I really enjoy it. Got the Coast Guard on the right here. If you are going to be located at the Telegraph station here, again, really, really easy commute. You could walk there from some neighborhoods in this area, but no more than 15 minutes, even if you were on the side of the Kingstowne area where we were when I first took the exit from the Beltway. Very easy commute. I want to point out that this light, you can see South Van Dorn right there. South Van Dorn runs right into Telegraph Road that we are on now. So if you were coming off the Beltway and just wanting to shoot straight down Van Dorn, you certainly could do that. Straight shot here to Telegraph, and then once we cross over here, I will point out there is another shopping center coming up on the right here, and that is home to Paisanos, which my husband and I used to live right around here, and we would order from Paisanos a lot. Really enjoy their pizza, and they have a really nice staff too. Also, Harmony Animal Hospital, that is our veterinarian. Cannot recommend them enough. You've got, gas station, 7-Eleven in the shopping center as well. Day salon. You also have a gym, a very small gym up here. This is called the Shops at Telegraph. Here we are passing by. You have Cleaners, Asia Garden, Glam Mini Spa, the Little Gym, and then you have Fit Body Boot Camp is the gym that I mentioned. It's also home to a coffee shop called Grounded Coffee. And as we come up Telegraph here, what we are going to be doing, well, before that, Greendale Golf Course is on the left. That's a public course, and I have friends that play there frequently who enjoy it. Again, really convenient. And we're going to be coming up the hill here to a light, and on the right side is going to be the rec center. So if you're looking for an option other than a gym to join, they have a gym there you can join. And we're going to be making a left onto Rose Hill Drive so that I can, of course, show you Rose Hill. You've got the Franconia Park and Rec Center, as I mentioned, on the right. There's also sports fields there and some walking paths. So here we are turning into Rose Hill. This is an older section. in this general area, and if you turn right on Lark Lane, there are some newer construction homes, just a few years old. But for the most part, what you will find in Rose Hill is homes, especially single family homes, that were built in the 50s and 60s. This Rambler style that you're seeing is very typical of the Rose Hill area. And we're going to come up here, stay on. This is the main cut through for Rose Hill. You could probably figure that out though, Rose Hill Drive. What we're going to do is keep cruising through, and then we'll come up to Rose Hill Shopping Center on the left. That shopping center, there is a proposal that has been denied and turned down for some time now, but it's still quite possible that it will happen, to completely revamp the shopping center and also add housing there as well. It does have a massive parking lot for the amount of shops that are in the center, so I think that that is part of the push to redevelop, because there's a lot of what I would say wasted land. And I'll show you when we get up here. You have Rose Hill School on the right, and then you also have the library as well, John Marshall Library. And we're just about up here to the shopping center. On the left are apartments, but if you actually go behind the apartments, there's also condos. The majority of Rose Hill is single family homes, but there are some apartments, condos, and townhomes. So here we are. I'll turn into the center here. Lots of daily needs in this center are covered. You have Walgreens, you have Gabe's if you want to do some retail shopping, ABC store, Dollar Tree, Safeway, Martial Arts, Sunny's Place if you are looking for a doggy daycare, that's what they do. You've got a laundromat, another nail place. There are a lot of nail salons in the Kingstowne area, and I would say that's true for Northern Virginia in general. You've got your Mickey D's up there on the corner, Subway. And I'm going to cruise up here because you also have Anytime Fitness on the left. So now this is just dumping us out on the other side of the shopping center, and what we're pulling up to now that I'm getting ready to turn right on is Franconia Road. If we were to go left, that would take us back to the Kingstowne area, but I'm going to go right because the next area of Alexandria that we are going to check out is the Mount Vernon and Fort Hunt areas. Here we are now in Fort Hunt, and this is a very sought after area, both for the location. It's extremely close to the Potomac River. Some homes, I would call them estates, but homes are on the Potomac River, and there's also a lot of sought after schools in this area. Fort Hunt, it's a beautiful area. It is an area that you will find a lot of diversity as far as architecture goes. You can find some new construction. The majority of the time it is a new construction home on a existing lot, not a subdivision. And I think that's something that really stands out about Fort Hunt in general, is this is not a cookie cutter subdivision area. You see a lot of variety as far as the architecture goes. You see a lot of variety in terms of lot size as well. It is an extremely popular area, and understandably so. The other thing about this area, and I would say Alexandria in general, they do a fantastic job with reserving and preserving parkland. I'm going to stop off here shortly to show you Fort Hunt Park, but that's definitely not the only park that stands out in the area. You also have Huntley Meadows Park, and you have Belle Haven Park. Belle Haven is one of my favorites, right on the Potomac River. It is just a beautiful spot to go and walk. And right next to Belle Haven Park is Dike Marsh Trail. If you enjoy bird watching or just nature in general, check that out as well. It is, I would say, my top 5 parks in Alexandria, but in general, that's a big pro of living in Alexandria, is access to parks in general. Quick little stop off here. I am at Fort Hunt Park, and whether you land in Alexandria or not, this park is worth visiting. It is really incredible to think about what took place here. It has substantial historical significance. It's 136 acres along the Potomac River, and it actually used to be a part of George Washington's river farm. You can still see some of the installations set up here that date back to World War II. You can also just come stroll around, enjoy a picnic or a nice day here at the park. But if you're interested in history, be sure to make a stop here. As I come over this hill here and come down, we're passing River Farm Drive. If you ever get the chance to just drive along here, it is gorgeous. This is GW Parkway that we're coming up to now. You can see that just beautiful view of the Potomac. It doesn't get any better than that. And we are going to come a little bit further down the parkway here so that I can also show you the Mount Vernon area of Alexandria as well. As we cruise down GW Parkway here, on the left you have Riverside Park. That's another beautiful one. If you are looking to take in some views of the Potomac, it will absolutely deliver on that. GW Parkway in general, I think, is a really pretty road to drive on. I travel it frequently, and you're just surrounded by the water, of course, but also just these incredible homes. I enjoy looking at them. Here we are coming up to beautiful Mount Vernon and Mount Vernon Inn. This is another area in Northern Virginia. I would say whether you are living in Alexandria or not, it is absolutely worth checking out. It's just a special area. It really is. And there's so much history here to enjoy. So something to consider if you're living in Northern Virginia already and you haven't checked it out, be sure to do that. But if you're relocating here, put Mount Vernon on your list. They have so many tours that go on throughout the year, but they also have festivals as well. There is a wine festival that I really enjoy going to, and you get to sit out in front of the estate overlooking the Potomac, enjoy some wines, and it's really just plain special. I'm on Mount Vernon Highway now, and just going to cut in. I want to show you more than Mount Vernon Estate, although that is absolutely gorgeous. Show you the Mount Vernon section of Alexandria as well. It's popular too, definitely known for similar characteristics to Fort Hunt in that you will see a lot of variety of architecture. Lots of single family homes here, similar in terms of a great location as well. And you will also find larger lot sizes here. So if you're looking for a little bit more elbow room and not a cookie cutter subdivision, both Fort Hunt and Mount Vernon are worth putting on your list. I'm going to stay on Mount Vernon Highway here until this will run me right into Route 1. And I'll cruise up Route 1 a little bit. Route 1 is, I would say, a downside in Alexandria because traffic-wise, it is light after light and it backs up a lot. But I think it's worth including here in the vlog because there are a lot of businesses along Route 1, housing as well. You'll find a variety, but I think it's important to point out there are a lot of businesses along Route 1, so I'll show you that. All right, so now we're pulling up to this light. You'll see once we get a little bit closer that it says Richmond Highway, which is Route 1. And in this general area, you will find all different types of houses. There are a lot of apartments along Route 1. There are townhomes, there are condos, and there are also single family homes just right off Route 1. And we are going to be heading north. If we went left and headed south, we could go down and head to Fort Belvoir. You can see here it quickly gets pretty commercialized. On the left here you've got Costco, and we're coming up to an intersection where Shoppers Grocery Store, PetSmart, Buffalo Wild Wings, other dining options. We are also just a few minutes from Mount Vernon Hospital, And that is a busy, busy hospital there in the Alexandria area. There's Mount Vernon, and then there's Alexandria Inova, which is off a Seminary Road. But Alexandria Inova is going to be moving to where the old Landmark Mall used to be there. It's torn down now, and then they're going to be building a brand new campus. Also have Walmart on the left here, and here we are coming up to the shopping center that I mentioned. It's a big center with lots of different options. And you can see some of the homes sit right on Route 1, but if I were to detour, there's a lot more residential that is a couple blocks off of this Route 1 corridor. If you're looking to get your bearings, we are heading towards Reagan Airport, and before that, going through Old Town, Alexandria. You can see on either side here, it's just business after business and lots of dining options, retail as well. And then a little further up on the left here, you've got a couple car dealerships, you have gas stations. Anything you could possibly want is along this Route 1 corridor. But again, traffic around this area, it's rough. This is not too bad right now. It's not rush hour that I'm filming, so that certainly helps. But be prepared, especially on weekends. It can take you a good 45 minutes to make your way down Route 1 just because there's so many lights and it gets backed up. Seaboil Crab House there on the right, it's been there for ages. I've personally never been, but I've heard from friends of mine that it is a great place to go if you are looking to get some crabs. And then up here on the right, this community that you can see off in the distance there just a little bit, that actually is fairly new. It has opened up within the last 2 years here. It's rental apartments, and they have rented very well because, again, it's a very convenient location. From where we are right now, you're only, I would say, 15 minutes on a good day, 25 if traffic's bad, to get to 495. You're very close to the Woodrow Wilson Bridge if you're going to be taking that to then get into Maryland or cut off and go into DC on 295. You've got a lot of options. You can see it's a really big apartment community, and actually hasn't been as long as I thought. It just started leasing this summer. I thought it was last summer, but my apologies. So you get the idea of the lay of the land of the Route 1 area. Route 1, again, lots of different housing options. You will find that in general, your money goes a little bit further along the Route 1 corridor, and that's because the further south you get, the further away you are from the Beltway. So your money's going to go a little bit further, but not quite as convenient of a location. As I come up here, I'm passing yet another shopping center. You've got a Giant Food, you have Lowe's, Home Goods, Outback Steakhouse is in there as well. And once we get up here a little bit further, we will also be crossing over the Huntington area, and if we make a left on Huntington Avenue, which is only a couple miles up here on the left, then that will take you to Huntington Metro as well. So if you're looking to be close to Metro but still have a little bit of elbow room, there's quite a few neighborhoods to consider along the Route 1 corridor. That Dollar Tree recently became a Dollar Tree. Prior to that, it was a Rite Aid. That Rite Aid was there for a long time. Got Fridays, Wendy's on the left, Party Depot, Famous Dave's. There's a Target that'll be coming up here on the left as well. I think you probably get the point that there's just a ton of businesses along this Route 1 corridor, and that's another reason that it gets so busy. People are out and about taking care of their errands as well. Coming down the hill here, we are coming up to Fairhaven Avenue if I were to make a left right here. And Fairhaven has a lot of single-family homes, and something to mention about the Fairhaven area, some of the homes are smaller, so it's possible to get a single-family home and not be up into the 700, 800, 900 million plus range. And the other thing is, if you prefer to not be in a homeowners association, there are quite a few neighborhoods, Fair Haven being one of them, along Route 1, and definitely in Mount Vernon and Fort Hunt, that are not in homeowners associations. So depending on what you're looking for, of course, the homeowners associations, they have their pros and their cons like everything else. But if that's something that you do not want to be in, this is an area to consider. We are coming down the hill here, getting close to Huntington Avenue. Just want to be sure that I point that out, because if you make a left to go on Huntington, which is this next signal that I'm coming to, that'll take you to the Metro. Once I go through this light, I am going to be heading into Old Town Alexandria, and that changes from Fairfax County to the city of Alexandria. So that really wraps up our vlog here on Alexandria in Fairfax County. If you're interested on average real estate prices, median single family home sale price in the last 6 months here is $786,000. Median townhome sale price in the last 6 months is $585,000. And median condo in the last 6 months is $287,000. I hope you got some value from today's vlog. If you have any questions, all of my contact info is in the description below. Please feel free to reach out, and you're also welcome to drop a comment below. I'm always happy to help. And until I see you on the next one, take care.